How to pay for a wedding with no money. It is almost impossible to have a wedding without spending any money. You will need to pay for a marriage license, at the very least. By limiting your out-of-pocket expenses to the minimum, you can plan a wedding that costs almost nothing. It's crucial to use your resources, whether it's friends, family, or the local community, to plan a frugal wedding. You will not feel like sacrificing your special day if you organize things right. Whether you're short on cash or don't want to spend thousands on a one-day celebration, the following tips are helpful. If you have income but no money on hand, you can take out a personal loan to pay for your wedding or opt for a simple ceremony without pomp and circumstance. Depending on the state, marriage licenses cost from $5 to $100, so it's possible to marry without spending much money. Alternatively, you can ask for assistance from your family or crowdsource. Let's take a look at all the options. Personal loan. Depending on your lender, your wedding expenses can be easily financed anywhere from $1,000 to $100,000. There are loan options for people with different credit scores, and you typically have between 1 and 7 years to pay it back. If you don't have any money saved up, you may be able to get a personal loan, but you'll need a steady income and minimal debt. Home equity loan. A home equity loan or line of credit can be used to borrow against the value of a house you own before getting married. The only problem is that your house serves as collateral, so this may not be your best option. Credit cards. Your wedding expenses may be able to be charged to a credit card based on the credit limit you have. Choose a credit card with a 0% introductory APR if you take this route, since credit cards are typically much higher than personal loans. Simple wedding. The cost of a marriage license is low. If you're thinking of having a small ceremony, consider having it at someone's house or a park that won't require any rentals. Moreover, you can ask your friends to use their talents, such as baking a cake or performing music. Ask your family for help. Weddings are often financed largely by parents, about 2/3 of the costs, on average. Your friends may also chip in if that is comfortable for you. Request cash from guests. You could ask guests to donate money to the wedding instead of traditional gifts. When you want to use these cash gifts to pay for your wedding, you'll need to ask for them in advance, otherwise, you'll have to borrow money and use the cash gifts to recoup your costs. Crowdfunding. In recent years, crowdfunding has become increasingly popular for covering all sorts of expenses. They might contribute to your wedding if you have a large social network or a group of dedicated friends. Enter a contest. If you're lucky, you can win a sweepstake that pays for a wedding gown, honeymoon, ring, or other wedding-related items. Fill out every form you can find from local businesses and wedding vendors, and be on the lookout for any contests. You must enter a contest if you're attending a wedding fair. You may even bring home your prize that same day. Perhaps you don't think you have a chance of getting something for free or at a discount, but you never know until you try. Get sponsored. It may be possible to convince companies to sponsor your wedding if you have a large social media presence. Host your wedding at home. Generally, the venue takes up most of the budget for a wedding. You automatically reduce your spending by half if you don't rent event space. Hosting the event at your home is preferable. Or you may ask a friend or relative if they would mind lending you their backyard, or even indoor area, for a day. Consider having a ceremony at the town hall, inviting just a small number of guests, and holding your reception in a public park or beach afterward. If you host a party at your home, it does not mean that it will be free. Renting items like dining tables, lights, speakers, and perhaps a generator may be necessary depending on the number of guests. You can spend a fortune on rentals if you aren't careful. Trim the guest list. There's no doubt that more guests equal more money you will need to spend. If you invite one person to the party, you'll be expected to invite another, provide more food and drinks, and even arrange extra furniture. Barter with your community for services. You can take advantage of your friends' talents, but you should also reciprocate. Ask for someone's services instead of a wedding present if they can contribute to your wedding. You can also offer your services in exchange. Is there someone you know who makes delicious baked goods? Consider asking them to make a simple cake. Does someone you know have experience with DSLR cameras? You could also offer them babysitting or dog walking in exchange for a position as the official photographer. Bartering within the community is also an option. Whether looking for a photographer or even a violinist, you can find someone willing to offer their services for very little or even free. Although this isn't guaranteed, it doesn't hurt to contact your local schools or post a classified ad in your area. You just might get lucky. Print your invitations. You may consider ordering your wedding invitations from an online print shop instead of going to a stationer. It only takes cardstock, envelopes, and stamps for you to do it yourself if you have a printer at home. Instead of sending invitations, you might want to consider sending e-vites. Use your phone and streaming services for music. Hiring a DJ or live entertainment for a small wedding is unnecessary. You're in business as long as you have a phone and speakers and like music. Therefore, you can make your playlist or choose one from streaming services like Spotify or Pandora. You just need to sign up for an upgrade beforehand so that ads won't interrupt your party. Simple cake. There is no limit to how much one can spend on wedding cakes. Consider buying the cake at your local patisserie or grocery store. You can add decor to make things look more special. The idea of serving cupcakes on a multi-tiered cake stand is also a good way to keep costs down. Do your own makeup or ask a friend. Try to do your makeup and hair if you can. This is what Kate Middleton did, and you can too. If you're unsure of your skills, consider visiting a cosmetics counter at your local department store for a, possibly, free makeover. Additionally, beauty schools can serve as an excellent resource because students offer their services at very low prices. You should take one of two approaches if none of the above-mentioned ideas work for you. You can start by waiting and saving up some money until you can pay for the wedding you want. Second, you can get married legally by going to the courthouse. For example, you could throw a big bash after saving for some time upon your first anniversary. Are you interested in learning more about different grants and programs that can help you with your living situation? Check out the rest of Gov Relations blog section today.